Hi, my name is Jessica Christine Smith. I am a Christian fantasy author, a singer, and an actress, and I hope that you will stay and get to know me just a little bit better. So I gave my life to Jesus when I was 6 years old. I can remember sitting in the church auditorium and just knowing that I loved him. I loved the Lord, and I wanted Jesus to be my Savior. I wanted to ask him into my heart. And back then I can remember being so excited when I did, and when a pastor came to our house and asked me, do you believe that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life? And I remember nodding my head, and that was all in preparation for me to be baptized. And I can remember being baptized that Sunday morning in the church and just being so excited. Like when he said, do you trust him with all of your heart? I can remember being in the baptistry at the time and just shouting yes. Like I was so ready to be baptized. But then it really wasn't until I was in the 5th grade that I started considering and becoming more and more convicted that my walk with Christ was an everyday walk, and in order to really grow my relationship with him, I needed to be studying his word. I needed to be spending time in prayer. And so the Lord used that moment. I was in the teacher's lounge at my mom's school, and I can remember sitting on the couch and just thinking, okay, Lord, I need to put you first in my life. No other gods before me, nothing else before me. And so that's what really started growing my walk with Christ, my spiritual maturity level, so to speak. And so I was saved when I was 6, but he has been working on me and growing me ever since. One of the huge things about me is that I love to sing. I love to sing Christian music. I love to sing musicals, like Disney music, and musicals like Anastasia are some of my favorites. But I learned that I could sing and that I loved to sing when I was in the 6th grade. And I got this solo part as King Herod's wife in my school's Christmas play. And so ever since then, I started honing that craft. So I would place myself in choir. In high school, I took voice lessons, and then that was all in preparation for what I thought I was going to pursue when I got to college. So I went to Ouachita Baptist University as a freshman and started to pursue a degree in vocal music performance. But that soon changed. So when I was a freshman at Ouachita, I ended up being cast in the ensemble of the school's opera, The Magic Flute, which, if you've never seen it and you enjoy opera, if opera is something that you enjoy, then The Magic Flute would be right up your alley. You would love to go and see it one day. But I had never been in a play like that before, and I fell in love with the costume and the rehearsal process and the stage lights and the stage set, and just all it took all the way around with cast and crew, going through what it takes to put on a full production like that. And it just blew me away. I had so much fun. Late nights, lots of homework, but it was still so worth it to me to be involved with the cast like that and to form friendships like that. And so I ended up my sophomore year of college transferring and switching to get a BFA in musical theater with an emphasis on theater. And so then I was really just thrown into the deep end of this acting world that I had always kind of dreamed about and fantasized about being an actress, but I had never been willing to actually take that leap. And this was like a huge leap of faith, because I was not that confident person in elementary school. All throughout my high school years, I was not that kind of person that would be comfortable with standing in front of a crowd and saying a monologue or acting or improvising when necessary. And I was not that kind of person. So I battled with this fear of questioning myself, of doubting myself, and I had to overcome that fear. But one thing I can definitely say about theater is that it has built so much confidence in me, because you do learn well to work diligently under pressure. You do learn that it's okay to be silly in front of your friends and to make mistakes and to overcome those mistakes. And that's how you learn, that's how you grow. I had a theater professor that would always quote one of Samuel Beckett's quotes that would say, try and fail again and fail better. So you fail and you get up and you try again and you learn to fail better, and then you make less and less and less mistakes, and then you might move on to something new, and you're going to fail, but you're also going to get better and improve your craft by falling and getting back up again. Okay, I changed the lighting a little bit, and I'm hoping that it's a little bit better, because the sun, I think, was kind of beginning to go down and it was like creating this glare. So now, just to move on into just a little bit more of my acting, being an actress, I have the joy of working with Fort Smith Little Theater now, which is a community theater. I get to act there and volunteer there, and it is such a joy to just have friendships there. And I've gotten to play such roles like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, Belle in Beauty and the Beast, Kathy Selden in Singing in the Rain, and Babe Buttrell, crazy Babe Buttrell in Crimes of the Heart, which was very challenging but also very fulfilling. And I've loved each and every single one of those roles. They've taught me more about who I am. They've built my confidence just a little bit more, but most importantly, being able to form the friendships that I have there, and just, it's an outlet. It's a place for me to express myself and to use gifts that the Lord has given me, and to just overall serve him, and to serve him with gladness. And so that's a little bit about my acting background. So I work at First Baptist Church, which is my church. It's my church family, First Baptist Church in Fort Smith. And it was kind of, me starting to work there was kind of an unexpected journey, an unexpected chapter in my life. Once I graduated from college, I was not pursuing acting like I thought I was going to. I did not feel like the Lord was really calling me to be a professional actress, and to take that professionally. So what I ended up doing was I began substitute teaching, and then thought, well, I will start getting my teacher certificate the non-traditional route. So I went through something called the Apple program and began trying to pursue a career in education. And the Lord really quickly and really kind of unexpectedly shifted that. I was asking for prayer at my church choir for a teaching job, and I was going to interviews and nothing was landing, and I was praying to the Lord. I was saying, okay, I don't know what to do. Lead me where you want me to be. I trust you with this. If you're leading me to be a teacher, then I trust that you're going to open that door. Well, I was actually called like the very next day, or the very next like 2 days or something, by my worship pastor at the time, who said there's a job opening at the church, and while it's not really teaching, it is the educational department of sorts. And so this guy is looking for an assistant. Would you be interested? And I said, well, sure, because I thought, well, that's a door opening of some sort. And so I went for the interview. I got the job. I'm now the Bible study administrator, and it is such a joy and a blessing for me to be able to equip leaders for the work of ministry. I mean, that's my job, and I get to do that as a writer sometimes of announcement videos, as an editor of church booklets, informational booklets. I get to help with the Sunday school curriculum, or Sunday school fellowships and events, and running errands, and there's a lot of different hats to wear while working at a church. But I have absolutely loved getting to work with my church family and form so many wonderful relationships. And so it's a true joy, and I love my job. So now we get to writing. Why do I write? Why is writing a part of what makes me who I am? Well, first and foremost, I write to give glory to the Lord. He comes first in my life, and I want all of my books and my acting and my singing and everything that I do. I want to give glory to Him because of what He's done for me. Because He rescued me when I was at my worst, and so everything that I do, I want to just point to who He is and His love for me and His love for the world. And so just to give a little background into why I started writing, I really started writing when I was in the 3rd grade. As soon as I really knew how to write, as soon as I could really pick up a pen, I started writing journal entries and poems and songs and story after story. And I've got so many notebooks piled away that I can actually look back on and cringe and laugh and just see how much I've grown, how much I've learned, all my adventures through the years, and that is such a huge blessing. And it really was, because when I was little, it was a solace for me because I grew up kind of lonely. I battled with fear and I battled with loneliness because I was your typical Anne of Green Gables type kid. I had this overactive imagination, maybe was a little bossy at times, and so I was very quickly labeled kind of the weird oddball kid, which is great, which is awesome actually, because theater taught me and adult years keep teaching me that that's okay. Like, I've embraced that aspect about myself because it's what makes me unique, is what makes me who I am. But back then, it was hard. And so it's one of those things where writing was a solace for me. It was like a light in the dark, and it really, really was like a best friend for me. Through my stories, I want to point others who may be feeling or facing the same things that I experienced when I was little. I want to point them to the fact that there is hope for the hopeless. The fact that when we are afraid, when we're battling with fear, that the Lord is our strength. When we're battling with times of sorrow, He is our joy. My stories are meant to point those who struggle with feelings of worthlessness and loneliness to the fullness of life that we receive from Christ and from our godly friendships and relationships. And most of all, it's meant to point everyone to the love that never fails. So finally we get to, what's my story? What is Evergreen and the Silver Tree? Well, Evergreen and the Silver Tree is a YA epic Christian fantasy. The tagline is, "In a realm full of deceit, will the truth ever be revealed?" And it centers around Evergreen, whose classmates vanish during a 1st grade field trip to Purple Fire Cavern. Well, 10 years later, Evergreen is still haunted by the cold case of what happened to her classmates. Where did they go? She wants answers. And during her junior prom night, she begins hearing this voice of one of her classmates' older brothers who vanished in the cavern that day. And she had never ventured down into the cavern herself because she had been too afraid. But his cry for help, Henry's cry for help, rattles her mind so much so that it actually causes her to go down to the cavern and seek answers, seek for evidence. And while she's down in this darkness, she finds a portal and is thrust into Ezra City's realm. And it's an enchanted realm where she gets to meet gnomes living in tree houses, elves living in a half-ruined castle, plant-like sprites, and a talking sparrow named Gideon. And they all lead her to find her classmates. But she soon learns that her classmates' memories have been wiped clean and replaced with false memories of a life never lived. All because this tyrant dragon king named Paladin seeks to be ruler of every creature and every land, and he has also made it illegal to worship the Pure One. And so what he does is he actually sends his faithful servant Silverman to arrest these treasonous creatures who are worshiping the Pure One illegally. And so Evergreen encounters Silverman while she's there, and she is filled with disgust at who he is, at the monster that he is. But later encountered, she begins to wonder, well, is he indeed the monster that Paladin has made him to be? While Evergreen is in Ezra City, she learns that she's meant to fulfill this ancient prophecy where she's supposed to restore the truth to her classmates and lead all creatures in a battle and a fight for freedom against Paladin, the Dragon King. But while she's there, she searches for Henry, and she realizes that Henry's cry for help, he's supposed to be there, right? But he's nowhere to be found. And so she is afraid. She thinks that Henry might be able to help her to fulfill this prophecy, and she's too afraid to do so. So fear keeps her silent. Fear causes her to hide her identity, and she soon becomes part of the Dragon King's lies. So she must learn to stand tall amidst the fear coiled around Ezra City, or else she's going to remain trapped in the Dragon King's lies, and she and her classmates will never escape. They'll never be able to leave. They'll never be able to go back home to their families who miss them so much. And so that is the story in a nutshell. Can she overcome her fears? Can she fulfill the calling that the Pure One has placed on her life? Can she stand tall and be a warrior? Thank you so much for watching this kind of almost like Q&A introduction into my life as an author and to just my life in general. If you enjoyed, I hope that you will like and subscribe if you feel so led to do so. This book is so near and dear to my heart. I'm working on its sequel. It should be a trilogy when it's all finished, and it'll be called the Ezra City Chronicles. So the first one, Evergreen and the Silver Tree, I am trying to get published the traditional route of getting a literary agent to represent me. And you know, I'm praying about it and leaving it all in the Lord's hands. I know that there are other options. I could self-publish if it came down to that, but Labor Day weekend I will actually be going to a writers conference in Oklahoma City, and I will actually be getting to pitch my book to literary agents, to just practice in front of other friends, make writing friends, learn so much in the process, and I'm super excited. So this YouTube video was actually a great way for me to just be able to practice pitching. And so I think I still have some work to do. Still think I'm gonna practice on getting the wording just right, but that is my book in a nutshell. And so I hope you enjoyed. I hope that makes you eager to read my book. And what I do know is that I'm going to continue to hone my craft and to keep writing and see where the Lord takes it, see where he leads it, and to use it first and foremost as a ministry that will glorify him and that will just point others to the gospel. And so anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye.